Hey, it's Deborah Bringelson, and I want to talk to you today about why your life isn't what you want it to be, or your business isn't what you want it to be, and what you can do to turn that around. So, the first thing that you have to understand is the world that you see around you was actually created by you, and it's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of your experiences and what I call the four components of your point of power. And those four components, they come in two sections. The first are your thoughts that go through your head and your emotions that also go through your head. So let's take an example. Let's say you're driving down the freeway one day and all of a sudden someone cuts you off and you slam on the brakes. And thankfully, nothing happens. You don't hit them, they don't hit you, but you are terrified. You're scared, you're worried, you're angry, you're frustrated. Maybe your child is in the car and you're in a panic that they could get hurt. Well, what happens then is your mind starts to loop. Those angry thoughts and that fear starts to all loop around, tied in with emotions. Now, emotions are in your head. They're attached to thoughts. And those emotions, they give energy to what you're thinking. They kind of like a little fuel on the fire, right? And so you start looping that around and you start looping around and you keep it going. And what then happens is your body begins to emit a frequency of anger, fear, whatever it is that you're going through in the moment. And that energy of your thoughts and your emotions, they're like little electrical spider webs that go out into your world and they attach to what you don't want, frankly. And here's what else happens. Remember, I said there were four components to your point of power? Well, the other two that work in tandem also get triggered. Your beliefs that you have, maybe beliefs that you don't even remember that you have, get triggered. Beliefs about if there was a time when something fearful happened in your life and that fear trigger happens in your body. Or let's say you've watched a lot of television with car chases and crashes, or seen a lot in the news that, people have been hurt in some sort of travel, whether it's trains or airplanes or cars, or just danger in general. You get that fear related to beliefs that you've developed around that gets triggered in your body. And it creates feelings in your body. So emotions are in your head, feelings are in your body. And that's where the real fuel on the fire comes in those feelings. And those are like bigger electrical spider webs that go out into the world. And when you get all four of these going in the same direction, fear, anger, frustration, that forms your point of power. And it pierces the quantum veil and creates your reality. Now we can do this in a positive way also. If we have our thoughts and our emotions and our beliefs and our feelings all pointing to something that's happy and joyful and that we want, sure. But when we aren't in control of what's going on in our thoughts and in our feelings, that's when things start to go in a direction that we don't want. So let's say you have this incident as you're driving in the morning and you hang on to all of the feelings and thoughts and emotions about it. And the next thing you know, you've attracted maybe not another car incident, but you've attracted a bill, an unexpected and very high bill that you didn't expect. Or you get into an argument with your spouse or your children or a coworker or something else keeps that frequency going, that frequency of fear and anger going, and you just keep pulling it into your life. In the moment that you're having these angry thoughts, nothing's actually happened. It's over, it's done, but we've hung on to it. We haven't let it go. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. The moment is over, but because you're looping, you're creating things that you don't want. So what's the answer? Well, first off, we need to understand what's underneath how you responded. And it's a question that I always have my students and clients ask. What's under that? If you're feeling really fearful or angry about something or any other negative emotion, what's under it? Where did that start? Did it start 30 years ago when you were a child? Did it start 10 years ago when you were breaking up with your first love? Where did that come from? And how is it driving your reality right now? So you've avoided the collision, but basically you're taking it with you. Okay, so the first thing is become aware of what you're doing. Stop being on autopilot and acknowledge what are all of the great things that are happening in your life right now. There are a lot of them. And even if you've had a terrible incident or a fearful incident, good things happen. In the example that we were just talking about, you didn't get in a wreck. Your car wasn't damaged. The other person's car wasn't damaged. You were not harmed. Nobody in your vehicle was harmed, but you're not focusing on that. So stop and focus on all of the good things. And then, as I said, ask what's under that? What's under this automatic response that you have and that you keep going? And go back to those experiences and fill them with love and light. You are, at your essence, love and light, and forgiveness. Forgive the other people who were involved, if there were any. Forgive yourself for the entirety of that experience. And do it for all of those experiences in your life. You don't have to spend 20 minutes on each one. Take what you need. It could be just a couple of seconds, and fill that with love and light. And then begin letting go. Letting go can be really super powerful, because when we hold on to things, whether it's material possessions or negative thoughts or unhealthy relationships, it drains us and it prevents us from moving on. So start letting go. And there are a number of ways to let go. First, practice being in the moment. Yes, the potential car incident was 5 hours ago. Why are you still hanging on to it energetically? Let it go. Maybe through meditation, maybe through exercise. And then ask, what's the opposite of that? So if you're feeling anger, frustration, fear, what's the opposite of that? Let's just say, as an example, it's joy. Can you remember some times when you were feeling really joyful? For me, it would be the first time I held my daughter. That was an amazingly joyful experience. Or playing on the beach, running in the water, whatever it is for you. Call that in. Remember, not just in your head, but in your body. Remember how that felt. The opposite of whatever it is that you're going through, the trauma you're going through, call in the opposite of that. Both in your thoughts, remember it, and also remember the feelings that you had in your body. Next, take care of yourself. Really invest in some self-care. And sure, pedicures and massages are great. Would never turn that down. But that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real self-care, real love yourself self-care. Who do you need to set boundaries with? Who doesn't respect that you have the right to say no to scheduling something or doing something? Set some boundaries for yourself. That kind of thing, that's real self-care. Get yourself away from things that don't align with the joyful you that you want to be. And getting out in nature is a great thing. Maybe getting out in nature and meditating is even better. Focus on yourself. And finally, one of my very favorite things are guided processes. Guided processes are somewhat similar to guided meditations, but they have a specific purpose for eliminating blocks to success, blocks to money. If you'd like to try one out, I'd love to send you one. Just send me an email to Deberah at DeberahBringelson.com, and I will happily send you my very favorite one. You are a massively powerful creator. You can create anything you want in your life. I know this for a fact. So if what you see showing up in your world isn't what you want, you've got the power to change it. And I know you can do it. Sending you massive love and light. I love you.